My sense of humor is not for the States. And no, I'm not saying before anyone comes for me that Americans are not funny or wada. No. I'm talking about being a South African living in America and how our sense of humor is so different. And the reason I'm even talking about it is because I thought it was just me. In South Africa, I speak normal. In South Africa, I feel like I'm not a person who swears, who I feel like my vocab doesn't include swearing. Come to America and have friends be like, dude, you can't say that. But out of all the things that I've said in South Africa, or even the jokes I've cracked, I feel like I'm a nice person. I don't know how else to say it. Like, I feel like I'm actually a nice person, but sometimes I crack these jokes and I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're literally taking it, and I forget, and it goes over my head that no, I'm not in South Africa anymore, and I've been here for years, and you would think I've adjusted. Two things I can clearly remember. Number one, my aunt, I was on the phone with my aunt and I still lived with my host family, and my aunt was talking to me, and the angle of my phone was bad, but it wasn't even a bad thing. She was just like, oh my gosh, you've gained so much weight. And I was like, yeah, I have gained weight. And she's like, yo, you're so fat now. And like, we were laughing about it. She was like, what did she say? Stufuza. She was like, what else did she say? It was like funny. It was like the way she was saying it, but basically I got the message. I was fat. Afterwards, I got off the phone, and it was a FaceTime, so the call was loud. I got off the phone, I was in the kitchen, whatever, and my host dad was like, dude, like, she's just calling you fat. I think that's insensitive. That's kind of rude. And I said, a random stranger? Sure. That's kind of insensitive or rude, or even just people in the comment section. But as a South African, I feel like I was like, I've been raised this way. You raise around African aunties who are never afraid to tell you when you've gained weight, or if you've gotten too skinny, or if you have a big head, that kind of thing. So it didn't even bother me. I didn't even really notice that she specifically said the words "you are fat" until he said it. Like, I know we were joking about it, but yeah. The next thing is, in my first year of being here, saying fetch. Can you fetch my shoes for me? Can you fetch my jacket for me? My host mom was saying that you don't say that. That's what you say to dogs. And a few au pairs and a few other South Africans have spoken about it, where the word fetch here in America, it's not, and I might be wrong, maybe my vocab in South Africa, but it's perfectly fine to say, hey, please can you fetch my bag from the door in the lounge, or hey, please can you fetch my food in the kitchen. But apparently using the word fetch for humans is kind of disrespectful. And there are other things I could think of that have been, but those are the two things that I'll never forget, because even now I'm always mindful for using the word fetch, because in my everyday life, I'm like, hey, can you fetch my bag for me? Hey, I literally asked my aunt to go fetch my driver's license in South Africa, and that wouldn't be a problem. But here, they won't maybe say something, but after a while, or like you just don't use it because they're like, you don't use the word fetch on humans. You use it for animals and not for humans. And so yeah, let me know if you're South African living in America. Do you guys have that problem where you've made jokes where it's like, yeah, no, we don't say that in this country? Outside of the whole my race type of thing. We know that part. Or Tyler's race. We know that part.